Hey guys, it's Archon, and welcome to Marvel Monday. This is the second episode of a new series I'm doing. Every Monday, I'll have a video about Marvel heroes. So this week, I'd like to talk about the recent rollback. If you're a Marvel Heroes player, you probably already heard about this, but I'd just like to cover the details for anyone that didn't hear, and then I'll give you my opinion and maybe some suggestions of what might be causing these kind of incidents. So, if you didn't hear, June 21st, which was 3 days ago, Marvel Heroes had to roll back their servers because a patch that they just released introduced a bug that allowed people to dupe the mystery box that drops from Doctor Doom, which gives you a free hero. Therefore, people could get unlimited free heroes. Now, if you don't know what a rollback is, it's where they reset the game to a certain point. So in this case, it was the point right before the patch came out. So any progress you made on your character after that patch went out, introducing the bug, will be lost because of the rollback. Now, of course, this was 3 days ago, so it's already gone through. And on June 21st, they had to take the servers down, and they mentioned that there was an issue, and they were fixing it. And they said they hope we don't have to do a rollback. But of course, they couldn't find a better way to fix the issue, and they had to do a rollback. Now, first of all, this sucks, of course. It sucks for Gazillion, it sucks for the players. Players really don't like to feel like they're at risk of losing progress, and especially if they find a really nice item or they get really lucky with drops during that period of time, which was fortunately less than a day, but during that period of time, they're going to feel like they got something taken away from them, and that's just a bad feeling. It's a bad feeling in the moment, and also you don't want to give players the feeling like that could happen at any time. You want players to be able to trust the company, and so that's why it's also bad for Gazillion. They're going to lose a little bit of trust in their players, but as always, Gazillion has done a good job, I think, of compensating the players. Now, of course, the best case scenario is that this kind of stuff doesn't happen. The Gazillion takes enough safeguards that this kind of stuff is very limited, and I do have to say that it has happened more than average, in my opinion. This kind of thing has become a little too normal for Gazillion, but I think they've done a good job saving face. They show that they care about the community. They've given 100 Gs to everyone for a fortune card, and then another 300 just as an I'm sorry credit. So everyone got 400 Gs if they played during that time. And then they also gave a 50% boost to special item find for the whole weekend. That's for all players. Now, of course, this was this last weekend, so it's over now. But also a 50% experience boost to everyone. So I think this is very similar to the Ultimate Pack holders not being able to get in time, or the Premium Pack holders. They compensated well, and I think that's important in this kind of situation. However, I think maybe what's more important, now that we're seeing that this is happening a little too often for an online RPG, is to prevent it from happening in the future. Because if players see this as a fluke, it's not a huge deal, right? Players are like, okay, that kind of stuff happens. Well, some players aren't going to feel like that, but at least the majority of players could still maintain a level of trust with Gazillion after this kind of compensation has been given out. But if this thing is happening regularly, as much as once a month, then it's going to feel like there's an issue with the company. And I think there could be a few reasons for that issue. One is that they're a pretty new team. From what I can tell, they haven't been working together for too long, obviously for years creating the game, but it is their first big game with the entire team together, and so it's going to take some time to get all the bugs worked out, and I think we can forgive them a little bit of that, although players of course have the right to be upset anytime anything is taken away from them. However, maybe a bigger issue, and I think this is a double-sided sword, is that Gazillion works really fast. So, of course, most of the time, that's a good thing, right? We like companies working really fast. When you compare Gazillion to Blizzard, a lot of people are going to give Blizzard flack because they say, well, Blizzard takes forever to come out with these updates, and then when they come out with patches, they're not even that big. They take 3-4 months to come out with a patch, and then the patch is like, okay, that's cool, but what were you doing for 3 or 4 months? And I think this might illustrate the difference of how the teams work. Now, of course, this is all speculation. I could be wrong, but I just wanted to offer my opinion on it, or my view, so to speak. It seems like Gazillion's really focused on getting things out there as quick as possible, and they're just not taking all the safety precautions that Blizzard is taking. We know Blizzard is one of the highest quality companies out there. They don't release anything unless they know that it's working very well. Of course, they still make mistakes. You see, there's no way to fully protect yourself, as example with the gold dupe bug. And I know a lot of people don't like the decisions that Blizzard make, but as far as testing things over and over and over again and making sure they're polished and working before they release them, I think it would be hard to argue that they're not one of the top companies at that, and therefore their bugs are much less frequent than a company like Gazillion. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think you really have to look at it as two options that have pros and cons. Gazillion is able to update their game incredibly quickly. If you played during the closed beta, you saw them. Every patch was a huge improvement on the game, and the patches came out really quickly. And now that the game's released, it looks like they're going to continue improving the game that fast. Now, I think you could argue that Gazillion released the game before it was finished. I think that's a fair argument. They're still adding features to the game. It didn't feel like a full, complete, polished game when it came out. However, I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's hard to complain about a free-to-play game being released before it's finished. You're not investing anything into playing it. Anything you do invest in, as far as heroes, costumes, leveling, items, you get to keep that even as they continue to improve the game. You could look at it as like a Path of Exile or Neverwinter open beta, where they're still adding to the game, but you get to keep all your progress. And so, although it wasn't quite finished in my opinion, I think it's not really a big deal with a free-to-play game. And we do really appreciate, at least I do, that Gazillion is updating the game incredibly quickly. I think we can continue to look forward to that. But I think this is just an eye-opening experience that we realize there are pros and cons to working quickly, and there are pros and cons to working slowly. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about that. Leave your comments below. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm crazy? Do you prefer Gazillion style of development or Blizzard style? And I'll read as many comments as I can. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll have another one for you soon.